Well, everybody, we're back. About once a year, we have a, oh my god, an episode where we lose 3 times. Here's your seed. 3 rocks, 8 ARD. Life is temporarily pain in Isaac. I want to clear the air about the last run. Played like garbage. And a lot of the fact, I mean, the run was not statistically very good, but the fact that it wasn't that good from an attribute standpoint was likely influenced by sloppy, poor play that I have to take responsibility for. So I apologize, okay? What better way to make it up to you than to have a keeper run where we get the piggy bank immediately? Where we get the piggy bank immediately. Oh, and then buy the Joker card. Okay, well, that's still 2 bombs for 5 cents. I'll take that. So piggy bank does not give us a 100% chance to get money when we get hit, I think. But it gives us a high chance to get money when we get hit. I should know this because I was talking about it with Sinvicta recently. Because he was like, the keeper doesn't, or the piggy bank doesn't give you a 100% chance to get money when you get hit. And I went, no. And in my head, I was like, duh. Now that I picked it up for myself, I'm like, I have no idea. I was confident when he was talking about it because I was not in a position where it could affect me, and as a result, my confidence could not have any blowback. Now, I'm like, I don't know, dude, it's hit or miss. You can say it. I guess they never miss, huh? I'm not even familiar with the source of the meme, but I'm familiar with the secondhand echo of the meme. So far, so good. Hold on, I think I hear a delivery. 5 seconds to Bing Bong? Perhaps not. My delivery radar has been very bad recently. I was gonna say I apologize. Then I was like, why? Who cares? It's not, no one out there is judging your delivery radar efficacy. You know what I mean? You know exactly what I mean. I think it's just loud trucks going by. Dude, why are there... This is a real story, okay? Well, I mean, it's not a real story. I'm just not joking, which is a weird way to preface this. I understand that automation... Yeah, we'll try. Has a lot of potentially negative consequences, for sure. Mostly related to... 2 different factors, I would say. As someone who is a layperson and is definitely not an expert, 2 different factors. One would be, massive unemployment. Oh, help me! We're still alive. We're still alive. Should not have taken fruitcake, dude. But the damage is oh so sweet. Yes, one being unemployment, or people, basically being phased out of their existing employment because it's easy to automate. The other one being, I hate when the algorithm determines anything. The recent history of YouTube essentially boils down to people gaming the algorithm to make questionable content, and then YouTube cracking down on everybody else after bad actors have profited off of it for years. Which is why, despite only making videos about video games for 99.9% of my content, every time I upload a video, I have to be like, I certify there are no minors being pranked in this video. Thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate it. Either way, I think that the algorithm... Honestly, like, this sounds bad. I'm a friend to the programmer and the software developer, okay? But we do need... I honestly think there should be more focus paid to, like, making software developers and the people leading these projects to take ethics classes. Because even though I have not progressed far enough in my education to be a tech guy, I have still seen a lot of, like, you know, well, you know, now that I learned how to program, I can pretty much automate anything. Like, you see the new dating app being developed? And this doesn't mean that people think it's a good idea just because it made the news. A lot of, I think pretty much everybody is like, this seems like a terrible idea. There's a dating app that uses your genetic data to determine an ideal partner for you based on, you know, maximizing genetic resistance to disease. Look. Am I impressed that you could make that app? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that in order to get there, required many incredible leaps in human understanding of, you know, not only technology, obviously, but genetics. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's one of those where I think if you're the professor, you know, you're the mentor for that project, you say, Sam, great job. This is a very ambitious project. Here's an A+. Please never actually make it, because the implications are terrible and you're gonna make us all look bad. Shocking, YouTuber Northernlion says that eugenics dating app is A+ idea. That's not what I said. I said you placate the developer by giving them a good grade, and then you torpedo the project from the inside, okay? Regardless. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, I was going to make a much less salient point before I got serious, which is that how sick would it be to have automated mail delivery, where a car just drives by your house and shoots the mail right against your door? You might be saying not that sick. You're wrong. It would extremely own. You just hear thunk and you're like, oh, that's my tax return. People would be excited about the mail again. No! I'm not even worried about the deal with the devil at all here. I just hate you. You know what? We were very close to success there, but I saw danger, and I thought that was the right time to not be there. I stand by that decision. Okay, okay. Much smoother start. Sir, I desperately desire a tiers upgrade. No! You know what, dude? That's what we're doing, okay? When you need confidence in Isaac, you gotta do something. I mean, this is an unprecedented lack of form. Mind you, again, I have made it public policy to never be upset when I die as the keeper. Did they patch the game? I heard they recently added more hops, etc., etc. I don't know what happened to me, dude. I started playing three-dimensional games again. Got myself into a lot of trouble. Anyway, I'm not actually upset. Let's go down here. I try not to be one of those streamers that is like the blind leading the blind. You know, a lot of streamers have very strong opinions, and I want to be very clear. I think it is cool, and I'm not being insincere at all. I think it is cool to have strong opinions and not be afraid or ashamed of expressing them, as long as you are also open to, you know, evidence and hearing people that might disagree with you if they have a good reason for disagreeing with you and are not calling you names, you know? But at the same time, I think I'm almost like I'm a radical self-hating streamer. where I'm like, no streamer knows anything, and we should all shut up except for making jokes. Which is not a good attitude, I'll admit. But I couch any vaguely, not even like current event stuff, but like any societal commentary is always couched in. So I graduated from college 10 years ago and have lived pretty much my entire adult life as a man inside of a box cracking jokes while playing The Binding of Isaac. So I don't think that's a bad thing either, to acknowledge, you know, the position that you're arguing from. But still, I'm aware of it. Hold on, I'm just getting myself, maybe it's an ergonomic position thing. Gotten myself out of ergonomics. My posture is leading to bad performance, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. This is not my day when it comes to Isaac. Which means, I don't know, like whatever we play on the NLSS, dude, I'm gonna crush. I'm gonna absolutely destroy. Anytime, it's when one of your senses is removed, all your other senses become heightened, right? Is that the way it works? Dude, you know what would be sick? If we buy the argument that if one of your senses becomes heightened, or if one of your senses is lost, your other senses become heightened, the inverted position of that argument is that if you dulled all 5 of your senses, you get a new, hitherto unknown sense. The 6th sense. That's right, the ability to see dead people. Poor Haley Joel Osment. Visually impaired, can't hear that well, not a good taster, numb to the touch, no sense of smell. What does he get for his troubles? Saw that lady throwing up in a tent. Remember that? That's the most enduring part of the 6th sense for me. It's not the spoiler, it's the moment where Haley Joel Osment looks into that tent and he sees the girl throwing up and you go, ew. No. It's one of those moments from movies that stays with you, you know? There are others I'm trying to think of. I mean, there's a big one in, well, I mean, there's big ones in Hereditary and Midsommar, for sure. You know, the statute of limitations on spoilers is still very, we're very much in the mix on those. I would just encourage you to see them instead, but I don't know if I should have taken that. This might be oh, never mind. We're totally fine. That helps out a great deal. Sometimes even in bad movies, there's images that stick with you. Even when I was, this is not a joke, but it's funny. Even when I was watching Last Holiday, not Roman Holiday, a good movie. Last Holiday is the movie where Queen Latifah is falsely told that she has a life-threatening, well, actually a terminal brain disease that is going to kill her. So she spends all her money traveling to the Czech Republic to eat delicious food, and she finds out the meaning of life just in time to discover that the diagnosis was not correct. There was a moment in that movie where they're like in the church. She's part of the choir, and they're singing gospel music. She has like an emotional breakdown and starts shouting, "Why me?" And then everyone in the church like joins in with her. And the moment is played 100% for laughs. But I was almost moved. I was like in the middle of this pretty not good at all movie starring Queen Latifah and LL Cool J. There's this, you know, sincere moment where you see that Queen Latifah is having this breakdown. And I was like, that's beautiful. And then, you know, second later, they go back to like a fart joke or something like that. But that's not the point. You know, even in a... Oh, no. Even in an otherwise pretty terrible movie, there could be moments of splendor, you know, moments of transcendent art. I know you're like, how much material you got about the 2007 film Last Holiday starring Queen Latifah? More than I would like, but I'm not sure if I've mentioned it. There's not a whole lot of other stuff going on in my life. Although I will say, so we went to like an, you know, urgent care facility with my wife last night because she chopped a little bit of her finger off. When we were checking in, so I mean it's a process. First you take a number. You wait you know, more time than you would expect to have to wait to have your number called, despite there being nobody else in the lobby. They go, you know, hey, what's wrong? And you go, my wife chopped a bit of her finger off. And then they go, okay, for no reason, please sit down in this chair. We're going to take your temperature, and we're going to get your blood pressure, and we're also going to, you know, check all of your vitals. I'm like, okay, I'm not mad, but like, you know, she just chopped a little bit of her finger off. I understand that it's got to be done. At the same time, it feels like there's a little inefficiency here that could be worked out. Regardless, then they go, okay, your vitals are fine. And you're like, yeah, I know. And then you go take a seat, and then they call you up later to get you checked in. So they start asking you all these questions. Anyway, so the person that was checking Kate in was a little hard of hearing. No problem. But it did lead to some humorous and also frustrating situations. She was like, what's your family doctor's name? Kate told her. She's like, I don't see it in the system. Like, that's a problem. Because that's her name, for one. And also, like, why would I lie? I'm going to trick this lady into thinking we got a family doctor. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway. We tried again. We've spelled it for her many times. She's like, I don't know, I can't find it. And then she's like, what's the clinic's name? So I go, I look up the clinic, I pass it to her. And then she looks it up and she goes, oh, Dr. Blank. The same last name that we've said 20 times and spelled. And she's like, oh, that's how it's spelled. And I was like, we spelled it for you. Anyway. Then she goes, who's your emergency contact? And Kate goes, that would be this guy right here. She goes, who are you? And I say, my name's Ryan. I'm her husband. So she takes my name. And then she goes, what's your relation? And I go, husband, spouse. To try to make it as easy as possible. She types that in, and she goes, you're her brother? For those of you not aware, my wife and I are of different races, so this is an inherently not impossible, but pretty humorous slip-up to have made. And we looked at each other and laughed and went, no, spouse. And then she didn't seem to find it as funny as we did, is all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, that's my only recent anecdote. That and, look, I love genuinely the Canadian healthcare system. I understand it's not free. I'm paying for it. But I think, you know, it's a very Canadian value for sure, is to, you know, believe that regardless of your station in life, everybody has a right to, you know, the same standard of medical care. There are some situations where you find yourself frustrated with it. For example, when you don't get seen in a timely fashion. But you take the bad with the good, right? This one was comical to me because the place we went, it closed at 10. We got there at 8:30. There was one other person in the lobby, okay? While we were there, we only waited like 15 minutes to get seen, which is really, really good. Usually when you go to, if you went to like the Vancouver General Hospital emergency room, as we have done more than I would like to have done, literally, I think you should probably budget being there for like 4 hours. You'll be taken in within like an hour, and then you'll wait an hour for a doctor to see you. They'll go, okay, I'll be back in a minute. They'll come back in an hour. They'll be like, there's nothing we can do, and they'll release you around dawn if you go in at dinner time. And that's, to be honest, that's fair, because VGH deals with like everything in the city, including a staggering amount of opioid overdoses, you know? But this was like super fast. But regardless, we went there an hour and a half before it closed. A couple people came in while we were waiting. They got served. Then around 9, this older woman came in. She had a broken wrist. She was like, my wrist is broken. They were like, uh-huh, I hear you. Unfortunately, we're at capacity for tonight, even though they didn't close for an hour. So we would advise you to come in at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, or go to the real emergency room if it's an actual emergency. I was like, man, this is like, you know how you feel like, you know, if you go to a restaurant 45 minutes before close? That's what it was like in the hospital. Yeah, I get it, your wrist is broken. We all got problems. Anyway, we're closing soon. I don't think we could possibly prescribe you a painkiller and put a splint on you in that amount of time. I don't know. Here's the, if you're watching this, you're a medical professional. I don't work in a medical field, obviously. Basically the furthest thing from it. However, I'm like, come on. I'm not gonna give up my spot in line. But I feel like this lady should also be seen. You know what I mean? She needs it. But again, I don't know. I mean, there's all stuff. Here, you always see the doctor walking around like room to room. I'm not here to suggest that they're not doing anything back there. I'm sure they're doing all sorts of stuff back there. I just don't know what it is. It's the same, like, I got in a lot of trouble for saying this, even though I'm sure everybody's thought it at some point in their life. I was talking about the pharmacy, and I was like, you know, if you have a prescription for antibiotics or something, why does it take like 45 minutes to get the prescription filled? You know, like you go up and you go, I need 12 tabs of penicillin, according to the doctor. They go, all right. They go in the room, they get on the telephone, they start, they get behind a privacy curtain. I don't know what you're doing back there, but don't you just have the penicillin that you could give me? And then, you know, there are people that are pharmacists and pharmacy techs in the community, and they're like, it's not that simple. You got to count out the pills. You got to make sure that you got to print the label. You got to make sure you got no outstanding penicillin prescriptions, just in case you're one of those weirdos that likes to abuse penicillin. Which I'm told is not a real thing, but I can't come up with other plausible explanations, so. I guess it's always easier to do somebody else's job, right? You only see the parts that you see. Like, sometimes people, and I'm not trying to complain in this situation. Again, I'll always tell you, I think I have a very good lot in life and a great job. But I do work hard, and sometimes people will audit my work weeks, believe it or not, because it's, I mean, I don't even think they recognize that it's kind of a weird thing to do, but they do it. Regardless, which is kind of the story of my life on the internet, I suppose. And so they'll say things like, well, I took all of his videos from the past week, I took all his streams, and he uploaded 38 hours of content. A 38-hour work week is below average and pretty good, I've got to say. And you're not wrong, but you don't see the other parts of it, you know? You don't see, you know, the time spent uploading, which is admittedly not much, but then, you know, setting titles, tags, descriptions, editing thumbnails, organizing collaborations with other people, and so on and so forth. Like, having worked in an office, if you, this is my experience, you might disagree depending on where you work, okay? But having worked in an office, I feel like if you audited the average white-collar worker based on the amount of time they spent actually working in a given work week, it would be like 12 hours. Now, that might not be something you want to hear, but I do kind of believe it. Now, admittedly, any job that I've had in an office has been very simple. It's largely involved, you know, filling out forms, occasionally talking to somebody more important on a telephone, and then doing what they asked of me. But then, you know, you're there at the office for 8 hours, but you get a 15-minute break and an hour for lunch, maybe. So you take, you know, that's another like 7 hours a week you can take off. And then sometimes it's just a slow day, but you get paid anyway. You know, you might only have 4 hours of work, you still get paid your full, you know, working day's salary. I'm not trying to make this a me versus you sort of situation. I'm just saying, you know, do unto others as you would like to have done onto yourself is all I'm trying to get across here. Dude, this run is bringing my confidence back. I feel so much better. You're missing the hours every day spent trying to decipher just what the heck Dan is even asking to do. What do you mean, do I want to construct minus turf at 10 a.m.? What does that mean? Anyway. Again. Well, I say this not as a... to divide us, but to bring us together, you know? We all have unseen duties that we want to accomplish, or we have to accomplish in our jobs. So I apologize, is what I'm going to say, to the pharmacist. Because I'm sure behind there, they're not just, you know, shooting the breeze. Hey, look at this loser! How long do you think we can, make him wait before he comes up to the counter and goes, excuse me, do you have any idea how long it'll be? Like, I got things to do. I'm just hoping. I just need the penicillin is all I'm trying to say. Let me out. Anyway. I like a fast run, dude. It was a fast machine. It kept its motor clean. It was the best Isaac run that I have ever seen. Ooh! Yo, so good. And then you know what? I don't even think we need that, I don't think we need Book of Revelations anymore. I'd rather have the stats. I'd rather have the flies. I think we got a good thing going here. And it's not because the NLSS starts in 15 minutes, okay? It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's a harmful rumor. Well, why don't you just start the run 5 minutes early? Who do you think you are? Me criticizing pharmacists? You don't know how hard my job is. This is a beautiful situation, though. I'm a very happy man. If I had lost this Azazel run, well, okay. Maybe I still will. But it's looking very nice. I thought I could get out of the way there. I will say my confidence might never recover if I end up losing this one from such a one position. But right now, that does not appear to be a likely circumstance. I also feel like, you know, to be honest with you, the worst part of most jobs, well, that I'm just speaking specifically from a place of ignorance there. The worst part of my job is definitely the part you don't see, you know? Some people are probably into it, but, you know, I find, like, writing descriptions, making tags, and, you know, thumbnails, etc. I don't necessarily find it unpleasant. You know, at the end of the day, you're still sitting in a chair, having a reasonable amount of fun. This is a very spicy take there. But the most fun is doing this, is making Isaac videos, just streaming, etc., etc. I feel like that's true for most jobs, though, right? Like, maybe that's not true, though. Now that I think about it, because I was thinking, like, what if you work in food service, you know? Surely the most annoying part of that job has got to be dealing with people. People are, by and large, I truly believe that 9 out of 10 people mean well and have, you know, a net zero or even positive impact on the people that they come across. But 1 in 10 people are, and this is just, it's not scientific in case that wasn't clear. 1 in 10 people, for whatever reason, actively mean to do ill to others, either for their own amusement or because ill has been done to them, so they feel like, you know, being unfair to other people makes the universe fair to them for whatever reason. It's, you know, it's a very dumb attitude. and very selfish, but I mean, I honestly, I can't comprehend it. Very, very rarely in my life, I think, have I been that, you know, the bad customer, if that makes sense. Only when there's been a misunderstanding. And never, I think, at like a food service location. Yo, this is so good. But I'm sure, like, you know, here's the thing. If 1 in 10 people are kind of crappy, if you work as like a waiter or a waitress or a cashier or something like that, you might interact with 200 people a day, right? That's 20 jerks. That's a huge amount of jerks. I can relate, believe it or not, as a streamer. I don't think 1 in 10 people, you know, that comes to the stream is actually a jerk. But even, you know, 1 in 100, sometimes that's 50 jerks in chat. That's a lot of people. And I remember your names, by the way. And I've seen your excuses. Sorry, I'm a jerk. I'm sad. Okay, that doesn't give you an excuse, but I am slightly sympathetic to your cause, but simultaneously, please get it together. Sorry, I'm mean. Someone was mean to me. It wasn't me, dude. It was like your local comptroller. Don't take it out on the streamer. You know, I apologize for this run being only 20-something minutes in length, but may I also say I needed a run like this in order to return my psychological confidence and enjoyment in Isaac to a certain baseline level that I can be happy with. Mere moments ago, I was engaged in a crisis of faith. Now, not so much. I don't want to live in a society that doesn't reward using Yera on a scary chest, or as I call it, a Scara, and letting something like that come to pass. We do have Judas's Shadow as well, so like, I don't know how we didn't get hit there. Life is but a dream. Please, I would like to finish the run. Finish the fight, like Master Chief said. Let's do it. Beautiful. Absolutely majestic amounts of damage. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. We got 1 on the board. And I'll see you next time. See ya!